Hey everyone, and I think I found the fastest way to waste my money online. There it is! See?
Limited edition game consoles. These are some of the coolest variations of consoles, especially if there aren't any different colors at launch, like the PS4. When it comes to making limited consoles, the important thing to look out for is to make them look cool and actually make them limited. The Game Boy said, "Watch this," and stamped a Toyota label on itself. Yeah, most of the Game Boy Limited variants just have a company slapping their label onto the system and calling it a day. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some cool ones, like this Star Wars one with a translucent black shell, and this rare silver one that just looks amazing. But unfortunately, most of these limited consoles for the Game Boy just look lame. Atari, on the other hand, was contributing to the rise in teen smoking by making this Marlboro-branded Atari Lynx. Both the NES and the Super Nintendo have a surprising lack of interesting variations, unlike the N64. The N64 has a whole line of brightly colored translucent consoles that went under the name the Funtastic line, and whilst they're not the most creative, I gotta admit, they look really cool. Another really cool N64 limited console was the golden one, and it looks great, especially considering that it doesn't have a Triforce slapped onto it like most modern golden Nintendo consoles. The Gamecube limited variants typically just replace the decal at the top, but sometimes these simple designs just look great, like this Wind Waker one, or this Heineken beer one.
Huh, that is more than I thought.
The Wii has one of the, if not the coolest limited variants of a console. A solid 24-karat golden Wii console with a gold controller and nunchucks that was given to Buckingham Palace as a promotional stunt by THQ Games to promote big family games. One of those Wii Sports-esque games that were filled to the brim with a bunch of mini games. And just look at it. It's like the N64, pure gold. Just looks incredible here. With the Wii U, there wasn't anything else that was too special. Mainly decals were added to the gamepad like this Wind Waker HD one, but the Nintendo Switch has some pretty sweet variants, like this Pokemon one and this Super Smash Bros. One. But the coolest Nintendo Switch limited console is definitely the Nintendo Labo version. This whole system was recolored to look like cardboard, and it looks amazing. I would love to own this system, but unfortunately I believe it was made as a prize for a Labo-themed event, so it is really rare. But the limited variants don't stop there, especially with the Nintendo DS and 3DS. There are about 1 million Pokemon variants, so I'll have to cover them some other time. But some other cool ones include this Donkey Kong one that says Hot Summer Donkey, and this Super Smash Bros. One.
Now it seems that most of the Nintendo limited consoles were made to coincide with the release of a big game. But obviously Nintendo is not the only one making consoles of the big three, including Microsoft and Sony. So what have they done?
Now when it comes to the cooler console variants, you have to look towards Microsoft. There's the original Xbox with the Mountain Dew variant, and it looks really cool. Participants apparently had to drink over 500 bottles of the stuff just to get this recolor of a system, which is a pretty big sacrifice, but hey, maybe it was worth that heart attack. The Halo one had a translucent dark green shell, which is pretty close to how Master Chief looks, and it's really cool. With the Xbox 360, they also had some pretty cool variants, like this Star Wars one, where the console is made to look like R2-D2, and the controller is gold, like C-3PO. There's also a South Park one that only had 10 made, and was a prize for having the highest score on South Park Let's Go Tower Defense, which is a pretty cool concept. More recently, with the Xbox One line of consoles, Microsoft has been more focusing on their exclusive controllers, which, hey, it's a pretty neat idea and all, but I can't have limited controllers in my video about limited consoles. It's illegal or something like that. Sony mainly only makes exclusive consoles when a big game is published, like these ones on Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 and Spider-Man. However, the coolest limited PS4 in my opinion is the 20th Anniversary Edition. This thing just looks awesome. It's a throwback to how the original PlayStation looked, and I just find it really cool. This is actually the only thing on the list that I own, sorta. I have the controller, but it still looks amazing. Now, this was by no means a comprehensive list of all the limited game consoles in the world. Rather, some I thought just looked really cool, or had interesting stories on how you had to obtain them. If I had to go through all of them, that would take hours, especially considering that according to consolevariations.com, which is where I got all my information from, there are 1,692 variants of Nintendo consoles alone. That's crazy!
Now all that's left to do is check how much money I've lost on this incredible scheme. I'm being evicted.